boys and girls. Okay, so today we have a new story. It is a fairy tale, which means it is not true. It's not real. Okay. Well, we've been talking about plants, and in this story, it shows us a plant. And from the plant, there comes a little girl. Yeah, little girls or little boys come from plants. No, that's so silly. Yeah, it's a funny story. It's pretend, it's make believe. And then in the story, there is a plant that the little girl sits on or lays down on, and it's called a water lily. It's a plant that floats on the water. It's kind of interesting. Its stem goes all the way down in the water to the ground. Yeah. Okay, so let's start the story. It's called Thumbelina. Here we go. Make sure you can see the picture. Here we go. Okay. So once upon a time, there was a woman who was sad because she had no children. Seeing her unhappiness, a neighbor gave her a magical seed. The neighbor told the woman to plant the seed in a flower pot. That evening, the woman planted the seed. And the next morning, she noticed that a plant had grown in the pot overnight. Can that really happen? No, it takes a while. Sometimes a few weeks or a few months for the seed to grow into a plant. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the plant had a flower right here. Do you see it? It's a bud right here. It's not opened up. It's the flower called a tulip. It was tightly closed still. Yeah. What a beautiful plant, said the woman. And she kissed the flower. When she did, the petals opened up, and there in the middle of the flower sat a tiny little girl no bigger than a thumb. I will call you Thumbelina, said the woman, and Thumbelina lived a happy life with the woman. Do you hear the name, the word thumb in Thumbelina? Isn't that funny? That's so funny. Okay, well, at night, she slept in a polished walnut shell. During the day, she sailed about in a saucer of water. The saucer is like the little plate that you put a cup on, okay? Like if you have, you've seen in movies or places where they have like a coffee cup with like a little plate underneath, okay? And she would sail around in a little saucer of water with a tulip leaf as her boat. Then one night, everything changed. A mommy toad hopped through a broken window into the house, and she landed right beside the sleeping Thumbelina. What a beautiful wife she would make for my toad's son, exclaimed the mother. So she picked up the sleeping Thumbelina and carried her into the garden. There she told her son of her plans. While we prepare for the wedding, we will place her on a water lily leaf in the river. That way she cannot escape, said the mother. So escape means to get away. Remember, this is all pretend. Silly, silly. So when Thumbelina awoke the next morning, she realized that she was no longer in her cozy bed. She began to cry. The mother toad and her son did not pay attention to her tears and continued with their plans. Someone heard Thumbelina's cries. Ah, see in the picture? Who do you see? I see a butterfly And I see a goldfish. They heard her cries. Yeah. Oh, the little fish in the river felt sorry for her, and they nibbled at the lily pad's stem until the leaf broke free from its roots. Because remember this leaf, the lily pad, floated on top of the water, and the stem would go all the way down to the ground. Yeah. So they nibbled it and they chewed it. So it broke free. The leaf floated down the river, carrying Thumbelina with it. Thumbelina floated along. It was summertime. She ate wild berries for food. She listened to the birds chirping, and she admired the beautiful butterflies. So far, she made friends with the mommy toad and her son, and now she's made friends with the fish and the butterflies. Somebody else. Before long, though, summer came to an end, and the weather grew colder, and soon there were no more berries for food. The birds and butterflies disappeared. One day, as snow began to fall, Thumbelina curled up under a mushroom. Not far away, a field mouse was gathering wood for her fireplace. When she saw Thumbelina, she said, "My dear, dear child, you must come home with me." Thumbelina gratefully accepted the field mouse's invitation. She spent the rest of the winter in the mouse's snug burrow. A burrow is underground. We talked about that in the vocabulary. Yeah, underground. Every day, Thumbelina helped the field mouse with her housework. When they were done, they sat and chatted before the fire. That means beside it or in front of it. They became friends. Ah, now she became friends with the field mouse. How nice. Now the field mouse had a wealthy or rich neighbor called Mr. Mole. Mr. Mole became a regular visitor at the field mouse's home. One evening, Mr. Mole invited Thumbelina and the field mouse to come to his house. They accepted the invitation and followed him down a hole and into an underground passageway. As they moved along the passageway, they passed an injured bird lying perfectly still. Injured means hurt. "Pay no attention," said Mr. Mole. "This swallow has a broken wing. Somehow he found his way into my passageway. Nothing can be done to help him." But with that, the mole and the field mouse hurried on. But Thumbelina did not. She was worried about the hurt bird. So she stayed and stroked and tried to take care of the bird's feathers. Suddenly, the bird moved. Thumbelina promised the bird that she would return with food, and for the rest of the winter, that is what she did. When spring arrived, the swallow felt well enough to fly away, and he asked Thumbelina to come with him, but she said no. She could not leave her friend the field mouse. The spring and summer months passed. It had become clear that Mr. Mole wanted to marry Thumbelina. Thumbelina did not care for Mr. Mole at all, but her friend the field mouse was in favor of the marriage. Together, Mr. Mole and the field mouse made plans for the wedding. That's a silly story. One day, as Thumbelina sat quietly weeping, that means crying, in the autumn sunshine, and autumn means fall, a dark shadow appeared. It was the swallow. "Thumbelina," said the swallow, I am flying south to warmer places. Come with me. This time Thumbelina agreed. She climbed upon the swallow's back, and off they went. They flew for many days. Finally, the swallow landed in a lovely little spot filled with flowers. Thumbelina looked at the flower. Next to her, she watched the petals slowly open. There in the middle of the flower sat a little man with a golden crown. That's one of our vocabulary. He was the same tiny size as Thumbelina. Oh. Thumbelina watched in amazement as all of the flowers opened. Each flower had its own tiny person inside. The little man with the crown said, "Welcome, Thumbelina. You have found a new home at last. Here you shall be my queen." He placed a tiny golden crown on Thumbelina's head. He fastened a pair of pale wings to her shoulders. And so Thumbelina and the king got married and lived happily ever after in the land of the flowers and the fairies. The end. Okay. So in this story, let's see how many characters were in this story. So we have Thumbelina, we have the little old lady, we have the mother toad, we have the sun, and then we have the fish. Remember the fish that helped her? And then, let's see, and then after the fish, what happened? She floated along, and after the fish came the field mouse, and then the mole, and then the bird, and then the people and the flowers. Well, there's a lot of characters in the story, weren't there? Yeah, there's a whole lot of characters. Yeah. Okay. Well, you did a very good job listening. Thank you, boys and girls. Okay, so your job today is to find things that have to do with the sound B at the beginning or the sound I at the beginning and things that have the B and the I on them. Okay, so if I show you, these are examples. Okay, so bottle, and I could show you my little baby doll. I'm pretending like I have a baby doll right here. So baby doll and bottle. Those are two things that have the sound. Now the I is a little harder, so I thought of itch and icky. Icky is yucky. Yucky. It's icky, yucky. So now I'm going to find things with those letters on them. So it's two of each, okay? So here, my Bath and Body Works lotion I like. Here's a B. Do you see the B? I'm trying it right there. There's that B right there. Okay. Now, I have lots of lotion. Yes, I love lotion. Now on this, there's an I. See that capital I right there? Right there. Okay, and you can look on markers. Maybe you see a B or an I. Oh, I see an I right there. There's an I on chisel. Okay, so look around on things. And in the video, show me two things that have a B on them. Okay, could be anywhere. Like on the drinking water, I see an I right there. And there probably is a B here somewhere. Yeah, there's a B right there. Okay. So two things that you can find a B somewhere on the package or on the box or something, or on the pin or something. And then two things that have an I on it. And then we're listening to the sounds. So this is like a two-part thing. We're looking for the letters and we're listening for the sounds. Okay? Okay, go find those things, guys, and show them to me in a video. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.